Hello friends, welcome to the Optimus studio of the Rotary. Today we have a special guest, a guest who is otherwise a chartered accountant and he has many other various qualifications as well. But he prefers to be recognized as an economist with a specialization in geopolitics. Friends, let's welcome Dr. Ankit Shah. Ankit bhai, welcome. Welcome to the Rotary Optimus studio.
Thank you for hosting me.
Ankit bhai, before we start anything, just one word and an explanation of what do you mean by geopolitics?
Well, geopolitics is the science of how you can operate focusing on your national interests while overlapping international considerations.
Well, that was a very concise and a very insightful statement which I'm sure people will have to read, understand and rewind and again think, and obviously a very in-depth sentence on that. Ankit, or Dr. Ankit, I understand and I also know that you've done a lot of research, and I'm sure even your book is about to be there on a topic which not many of us know, and that is Sanatan economics. Now, yes, Sanatan is a word which this government has been using for quite some time and people have been aware of that term. But Sanatan economics, what do you mean by Sanatan economics?
Well, I coined this word around the year 2012-13. Yeah. And this is based purely on my research on how religion and dharma affects the overall productivity as a nation. Now, when you compare how economics has functioned in Geo-Economics across the world, you realize that there is a fundamental difference between how Bharat operates and how rest of the world operates. Bharat says that you are the soul and body is just a vehicle.
Yes.
The Abrahamic countries say that you are the body and soul is just a vehicle. So, to my understanding, the fundamental contrast is these countries believe that there is only one life, whereas Bharat says that there are life cycles. So, birth, death, and rebirth. Now, when you apply that to your daily routine, how we perform as an economy, you realize that the focus of Abrahamic economics is more on consumption. Because at the back of their mind, this is the only life, which means you need to consume everything in this life itself. You need to chase assets, apply more objectives, make a group, differentiate between your group and others' group, snatch and win as many resources as you can. And that is how that consumption-based lifestyle economics works.
That this is the okay life that you have to enjoy and spend on or whatever.
Which is what creates this debt-based lifestyle, wherein you are taking from the pockets of the future generation and spending it now, and you're supposed to make repayments later. When that goes on a mass scale, that is how you end up with 35 trillion debts, which the US economy right now has.
So that means when you say that this Sanatan economics was the Indian culture over the centuries ago, and so the second economics I heard you say Abrahamic economics. So are these the two kind of economies or the economic principles of which the world are work here?
This is purely my thesis, because when you go to an economics class, they will tell you capitalism and communism are the moderns. Whereas Bharat has always been balancing extreme capitalism and extreme communism. It is only Sanatan which gives you the concept of dharma for the capitalist to cap the profits, and it is only Sanatan which gives you the concept of karma to the communist, that nothing in this world is going to be for free. You have to work for it. So karma and dharma, This is how Sanatan caps extreme capitalism and extreme communism.
So, how do you think the business models work under the Sanatan economics?
So, we've been giving more than 27% to the oil GDP on an average for 1800 years. Whatever the change has happened in the last 200, 300 years of the colonization. So before that, the model which we were working on, the Sanatan economics model, was a value-based family unit economics model with Mandir ecosystem at its center. Okay,
The Mandir ecosystem.
the Mandir ecosystem. So, which is why all your economic cycles were linked to the festivals and the tithis, which were linked to the dharmic activities of the Mandir. Now, each one of your Bhagwan requires a separate kind of a flower, there's a separate bird, there's a separate animal, there's some equipment, there's some book. Imagine if your Bhagwan was an Abrahamic and would require same kind of flowers. Rest all flowers will get extinct. So it is a Mandir ecosystem in the Sanatan economics model which also maintains a biodiversity of this planet. So we are the real owners of what we call as the sustainability goals. And ours is maybe not reservationist.
Yeah, we see so many of temple towns where the entire economy of that place or geographically it is working on and about the temples. And if that extended on a national level or an international.
And our model of welfare in Sanatan economics modeling is only a prasad, which is food security.
Correct.
The state is supposed to ensure maximum your food security. No ready product to be given for free. Whereas in the current contemporary models, what is happening is freebies have become bought by politics, wherein the wealth creators are punished with harsh taxes and freebies distributed to the workers. This is not the concept of social welfare. Our concept of social welfare is you get the prasad in the mandir, go out and work.
It's fine. Now, if you say that India is going to go on the Sanatan economics model, it's a paradigm shift from the existing model. But in the existing model, there is again a thing that the stock markets are booming right now. So when this paradigm shift happens, how do you see the stock market in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
Well, we have to understand 2-3 things here. The first thing is our stock market capitalization is not at the level where the Abrahamic countries,
Much less.
which is to say a very good sign that the tier 2 and tier 3 cities are still in self-employment and entrepreneurship mode
Yes.
with tech families. Secondly, you got to understand that since this is the only population which can earn its purchasing power and spend it with the young population, rest others have lost their birth rates. A lot of wealth is going to pour into young Indians from foreign countries, which is going to shoot the stock market up. So long term, the stock markets look very promising because the dollarization underpriced a lot of our products and companies' values. The de-dollarization is going to bring them back to kite valuations. So long term it looks promising, but at the same time, if we want to deploy the Sanatan economics model, then we have to come up with a governance which matches the dharmic requirements. Say, for example, we have the concept of independent director in companies today.
Yeah.
In ancient Bharat, the big businesses were led or at least guided by what we call as the concept of Shreshtis.
The leaders.
So the community leaders who are known for their ethical, moral and dharmic values would lead those big businesses. So there are no chances of fraud or no chances of exploitation of human lives for profits. So there is a dharmic cap on behavior of companies, which is not the case in the current model where fraudsters just do the fraud, put resignation and leave.
Dr. Ankit, you also made a lot of predictions which at that time seemed absurd and have come. Dr. Ankit, you also made some predictions like the one on the Balakot strike, the doctor on the Ukraine war. Some of them seemed very absurd, but come true and it's a shock. So, is it that you have some insider information, or is there a silence or a method by which you come across with inspirations?
So, I have absolutely no insider information. In fact, I don't believe in information because a lot of narrative warfare happens with fake media at times and stuff like that. Neither insider information from the government or anything. Because all these, as you see, Ukraine or LSE standoff, Russians and Chinese and, all these nations are not going to give me insider information. And so, my predictions are based on three things. One is cash flow movement between nations. Second is body language of leaders. And third is dates of history of nations, how nations behaved in history.
Can you give a simple short example of how did you correlate these three things in any one of your predictions?
Sure. So, say for example, if you take up the Ukraine conflict.
Yeah.
Now, we do understand that President Putin was already making moves prior to the Ukraine conflict that it started. By mid-2021 itself, he started diverting the dollar-based investments outside Normal. So he had already started preparing for anticipating the sanctions that will come when he takes action. So when he noticed this changes, second, there was a meeting in Bharat between President Putin and the Prime Minister Modi around December or November 2021. And in that meeting, particularly after that meeting, we've seen a surge in buying of silver by Bharat in the after that, right? So when you see a correction of commodities happening by nations in the de-dollarization waves, you understand that all those hotspots which were created for serving the US dollar have started reversing.
From that you guessed that there were...
Certainly. And there are multiple factors. One more is about, it goes long back into history where the Haseki Sultan of the Ottoman Empire was actually a lady, Ruthenian lady, was dragged from Ukraine to Turkey back then. So the seeds of conflict, and then you had, Mongolian hierarchy-based leaders coming in as second and third to the throne of the Ottoman Empire. So the seeds of conflict on ground was between Moscovian churches and the traditional West European churches as well. So multiple conflicts and get together and form this.
So basically the world is seeing so many conflicts, whether you go that as EOK or whether Taiwan or Ukraine or Israel or whatever. How do you predict the geopolitical scenario 2030 and beyond?
Well, post-2030, I think, before 2030 itself, all these hotspots will be reversed.
Reversed? Yes, are you optimist?
Yes, I'm sure theory. I am predicting that EOK would be over. Certainly, Ukraine would be over, and Israel, Iran will also be over. Taiwan as well, you will see some milestones being achieved, if not a complete takeover. So before 2030, this hotspots need reverse. And as long as post 2030 world is concerned, we are living at a point which will be more of regional integration rather than internationalism.
Okay. Well, that's fine. And just in our talk, thrice I heard you mention de-dollarization. Just a quick word of that, because I think you seem to be very active on the other board, the thing. pressing for the de-dollarization. So what is that concept which you are advocating?
So we are looking forward moving out of a single country reserve currency world.
Is that so? Yeah. Going back to the world economy.
Back to a multi-currency basket of international trade,
Okay.
which might have a digital currency or a payment system which is linked to.
So what happens about the Bitcoin stuff and things like that?
Well, it looks like the BRICS nations are de-dollarizing with gold, and the Western nations are de-dollarizing with Bitcoin.
Oh,
So the entire world is de-dollarizing. Okay, as once the new currency format comes up in for the multipolar world, I think whatever private cryptos like Bitcoin are, they would be eventually regulated as a digital currency by world nations.
Friends, you can go on talking for hours and hours together, and Dr. Ankit has got all your answers, all the various theories, and they are very interesting. But for that, I think the best is let's wait for his book on Sanatan economics to come, and that will enlighten us a lot more about this. Thank you, Dr. Ankit, for being on the show.
Thank you for listening.
And thank you very much. And yes, signing off for Rotary Optimus Studio, Dilip Shah, along with cameraman and Naresh Bhalia. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay.